You realize we're in front of the City Hall of Jerusalem. And there's a greetings of kosher and joyous Passover.
Shalom. This is the 6th day of Pesach, and I'm here with Rabbi Avraham Feld. And
Moshe Pipik. Okay.
we shortly want to go through the Constitutional Protection Report and prove that what they wrote about us is not true. So they wrote...
What they wrote about them.
Yes.
Yeah.
About the Erbengemeinschaft Jakob E.V.
Right. You can say that 3 times fast. You get a prize.
So the Association Erbengemeinschaft Jakob E.V. Nation of Ephraim has, according to its own statements, been active in North Rhine-Westphalia since 2017. The members present themselves as successors of the tribes of Israel from biblical times and have set themselves the goal to establish a new state in Israel based on the model of the Kingdom of David. The association thus denies the legitimacy of the State of Israel.
Oh, it's not our experience. Listen, all religions, all isms, all New Age, everyone has their own view of the end of days, or the eschatological perspective, right? You have 2.4 billion Christians, 1.6 billion Muslims, with all kinds of debates on how things will ultimately end. But that doesn't stop anyone from recognizing a modern day state. So this group, 1 billion% recognizes the legitimacy of the State of Israel, irregardless of futuristic end day times, which every group and every ism has their own vision of end day times. It's irrelevant to charge someone not recognizing a present day state. What about American evangelicals, who many are pro-Israel? They have a really mixed bag of end day things, but they still recognize and are patriotic to the United States of America. Okay, so that's a nonsensical attack. And they not only recognize the legitimacy of Israel, but this group and their leader for 22 years, and these new people in the group for at least 7, 8 years that I am familiar with them, spend day and night, week after week, month in, month out, defending the State of Israel. That's what I think. Should I go on? I can go on and say what we've seen is involved in social welfare activities. We saw these guys helping people who were down and out, messed up, unclean, mentally disturbed, some of them dangerous. We've seen their volunteers helping them with full hearts and spending money on street people who desperately need it. What else have we seen is that they've also been a platform for many people in the up-and-coming Hebrew roots movement to identify with them and become more Hebrew-rooted, which led them to becoming real loyal friends to the State of Israel, the people of Israel. They defend Israel and defend Jews against all kinds of missionary activity, and that is the reason they're hated. Yes. There's many Christians, very fine people, who hate them because they don't agree with their version of Christianity. These guys have a more Hebrew-rooted version of things, which rejects certain dogma. So as you may realize out there that a lot of Protestants really hate Catholics, even though the Church, the Vatican II, 1964 Vatican II, has become more liberal, more open, more inclusive. So that hasn't reduced Protestant anger and hatred and a sense of competition with the Catholics. So likewise, these guys, they have a more advanced in their understanding of Christianity. So many Christians hate their guts because of it and despise that they want to represent and defend Israel. That's called, I guess, that's called anti-Semitism. They're too Jewish, and they don't think on a literal level. They're philosophical and interpretive. They identify with Jewish history, with Jewish past. They identify with our suffering, so they want to feel that they're part of our great tapestry of redemption that God's weaving. But it's not a replacement theory, which the Christians that hate them do believe. So many of the Christians that hate these guys want to replace Israel and think Israel has been replaced. These guys are fighting that they're just would like to be a part of that great picture. So you can't take things so literally. That's also a distortion. Is there any other points we wanted to make?
Yes. So in the eyes of the association, members of the Jewish religious community are considered as Zionists. So you're a member of the Jewish religious community? Would you consider yourself a Zionist, or would you consider that we call you Zionist?
I don't know what they're talking about. Zion is a biblical word. All Jews are somewhat Zionist. All Jews support that the land of Israel was given to the Hebrew nation to be kind and generous and just and friendly to anybody else who was not of Hebrew heritage. These guys would be considered pro-Zionist, pro-Israel, pro the land, pro the state. Is that what we're talking about?
I think
but
so.
We could have arguments with our government, just like you could be a loyal American or a loyal German and not agree with a certain policy and be really upset about it. But you salute your country and you're patriotic to your country. Likewise, have two Jews, three opinions. But what a ultra-Orthodox religious Jewish mom asks the kid when he comes back from school every day? Did you ask a good question? We invite argument. We invite different 70 faces to the Torah. That's a belief we have. We invite discussion and dealing with the nuance of things in our spiritual walk with God. But yeah, these guys support people who support the land of Israel, the people of Israel, the Torah of Israel, and the state of Israel.
So in public, the members appear as alleged advocates to Jewish interests and opponents of anti-Semitism. However, this supposed commitment serves only as a facade for the association.
What did you call it? What did they call it? This what?
This?
This position serves as a what?
As a facade. However, this supposed commitment serves only as a facade for the association.
Their whole essence is pro-Israel. It's not a front for the organization. It is who they are. They side with Israel. It's right now we're at war. These guys could have went back. I have so many Christian friends. They ran to Jordan so fast when their flights were canceled out of Israel. They flew on wings of eagles to get to Jordan, to fly the hell out of here. These German guys, and they have many other ethnic groups among them, they came to Israel to stay in Israel for the duration. All right? They're totally committed, and their blood is the water of the land of Israel. Their flesh is the dust of the land of Israel. They're totally committed to the land of Israel, the people of Israel, and to Jewish national identity forever. Forever they'll be the tribe of Judah, and they believe one day all the tribes will get their acts together. Which you don't have to believe or accept, but they're totally sold out to Jewish, and they have tremendous respect for people who don't agree with them as well. Okay, are we done yet?
After the Hamas attack on Israel, the association exploited the Middle East conflict to obtain further financial donations through supposed fundraising campaigns for the Israeli armed forces. This is supported by one-side reporting with videos from Israel on the association's YouTube channel. It cannot be verified whether the reports actually come from Israel.
All I can tell you is these guys are broadcasting. Many times I saw them, and friends of mine were sitting with them when they were broadcasting right from Israel, from Jerusalem, from Kanstrim, up in the Golan, from other places. They love to broadcast, like they're really into video education. So we've seen numerous times over years and years, broadcastings coming from here, and all of them had the common denominator of supporting Israel and asking for you people out there in television land and YouTube land to support Israel.
Yes.
I don't know why can't you identify? Like right now, you realize we're in front of the City Hall of Jerusalem, and there's a greetings for a kosher and joyous Passover on the wall. This is not Amman, Jordan. I swear to you, this is not West Beirut or Damascus.
Yes.
Okay, we done yet?
Erbengemeinschaft Jakobs claims to be committed to the fight against anti-Semitism. Contrary to this portrayal, however, the term anti-Semitism was instrumentalized by the association to defame press reports or government measures such as corona vaccinations, etc., as being used specifically against the association and its members as non-Jews.
Listen, there's a big debate in science. What is it called? Doctors and scientists' proclamation that doesn't agree with the mainstream media's presentation of COVID. There's America's frontline doctors. Don't look at what Google says about it. Go to DuckDuckGo and look what the 17,000 doctors and scientists say about the certain amount of misrepresentation in the media and problems with something being in a clinical test. Open up the little pamphlet on the vaccine. It says this is a clinical test. The Nuremberg laws said people can't be experimented on as testing. So, you know, there could be debate on these topics. But they've been sided with Judaism, with oral Torah, with there's no need to missionize Jews. Jews already have their path to God. And we, from our way of looking at it, we think they've been treated negatively because they support Israel, because they're vocal about it, because they don't accept all Christian dogma and doctrine, that they became a target for real anti-Semites real people who hate Jews and Judaism, real people who are waiting for another October 7th repeated 10 million times. So they stand up for Israel, they stand up for God's Torah, they stand up for the Jewish people, and they disagree with the government, as many people disagree with governments. Why do you need to have an agreement with a pharmaceutical company who has the most scandals of any other pharmaceutical company, paid billions of dollars because of criminal negligence, and you have to have agreements that are not public, when the whole world for 40 years I hear transparency, 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 and these important agreements on public health are not transparent as they should be, as properly. So that could be debated, but they always are siding with the Jewish people against missionaries. So you know how, my dear beloved friends who are missionaries, do you know how pissed off they are with these guys? These guys read out or read in or read anew certain scriptures that contradicts their theology. They hate them because of that. That's what we've seen.
Okay.
Last thing. Good.
Among other things, the eviction of the association's headquarters in Hasewinkel by the municipality in 2021 was portrayed as an attack by a corrupt system. Conspiracy ideologies surrounding the Rothschild family were also propagated. Listen, I always say about the Rothschilds, why are you guys picking on one bank? You know, there's like 10,000 non-Jewish big bankers, and you have a couple of these Jewish big bankers, and they're interested in promoting their bank's interests. So that's what I think about most conspiracy theories. These guys, constructive criticism against the pharmaceutical companies or banking operations is like constructive criticism. It's not an evil thing. It's not necessary. It could be wrong. The criticism also could be misplaced. It's nonsense. It's just what people don't agree on baseball teams, football teams. They also don't agree with the way banking organizations run the world or
or take more authority than they have ever been given by the public. That's a different issue. What was the other point you made besides Rothschild?
Among other things, the eviction of the association's headquarters in Hasewinkel by a...
Oh, yeah. So did you see, didn't they send SWAT team in
Yes.
there? This is a public center that they were running programs that were like, you would call it social activism. You would call it kindness, welfare programs, where they had lectures and a place for older people to hang out in, and young people, if they wanted to hang out in. It was like a social center. Why do you need to send a SWAT team into a social welfare center or to a social activist center? Where does that come from? Why do they need a SWAT team for? They didn't own any guns. They didn't have any long swords. They didn't have any military training going on. They had lectures, public lectures on the Bible. They had public lectures on topics of interest. They had community activity. So how do you justify a SWAT team going in to vacate that place? I don't get that. So something's wrong there. And from an outsider's view, maybe they can justify it, but from an outsider's view, it's ridiculous. Here's a young man who does a huge amount of volunteer work. If I go into the volunteer work he does, he'll be embarrassed. He's also a leader of youth groups, and he had what to do with Christians who know this group and what to do with former members of their group. So just whatever you want to say.
I'm an Israeli kid in Israel, in Jerusalem, and I got to know many people that need a lot of help and didn't really have anybody to help them. Even government organizations or charities, they couldn't help them. Nobody wanted to help them. They were too big of outcasts to help them. And I saw the organization. They came. They weren't afraid. They went to drug addicts. They went to all these sort of people that really needed the help, and they still helped them. And I never saw anybody else help them. And the only reason anybody would have to try and denounce and like go against an organization like theirs is because they have a feeling that they're maybe a bit too Jewish. It's unpure that someone would be too Jewish. And the only reason they have a really big problem with an organization like theirs is they themselves hate Jews. They only want Judaism for Jews. They don't actually have any love for Judaism. They're anti-Semites. They were always anti-Semites. They're just better at speaking. That's all. I saw people that used to be in the organization and they went for full Orthodox conversion and they became model Israeli citizens. And again, there's no reason to denounce the organization. It's purely out of anti-Semitism.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. תודה רבה. חג שמח.
Amen.